Hey guys, Delta from Team Carrot Cake coming at you with another character deck profile. Today we're going to show you how we built our 45 card Chazz deck. Also, Happy New Year guys, because it's like the 31st, about to bring in the new year. First up, you have 3 Chthonian Soldier. This was in Chazz's first batch of cards he used when we first started playing were the Chthonians. We went up to Society of Light with what we built, so we didn't use Chazz's cards after that. We also tried to limit his cards to because he created a lot of different decks, and he used love cards one time when he was trying to win the love of Alexis. So we tried not that they make those, we tried not to include stuff like that where he only used it once. So we merged the few decks he'd used before Society of Light together. That's what we got. But yeah, Chthonian Soldier is really good. Your opponent takes the same damage you take, which, it's better than if it were a vanilla, but not as good as Amazon's Swordswoman. Then Reborn Zombie. 1600 defense is about the only thing good about this card, but you can use this effect sometimes too. But he used it early on, so it's in there. Mephis the Infernal General. It's an okay card. It has the piercing, which is kind of cool. I think it makes your opponent discard a card randomly. Yeah, so it's not terrible, but you'll discard it for Armed Dragon a lot. Infernal Incinerator. I won a game with this card once, but it's really not that good. He used it early on though, so it's in here. And then Despair from the Dark. Also not the easiest monster to use. It'll be dead a lot because Chazz used a lot of kind of worthless cards, but you do what you can, you make do with it. If your opponent does happen to discard it, then good for you. Gyakugaier Panda. This is used by Chazz when he went to that other academy place, whatever. Yeah, and it's actually pretty good though. It works with the Ojama Trio, which is in your deck, and it's actually can be a pretty strong card. It's probably one of the better cards in his deck. If you saw our 4-way, which we released on Christmas for the first video of our 12 Days of Christmas, I kept wanting to use this card to game Gogs and Flicklicks over Ojama tokens, but I didn't because Slifer would win us if it didn't work. But it's a really good card for that reason. Watch that game. I'll put the link up there too if you haven't already. 2 Armed Dragon level 3. We made jokes about Chazz's deck having a lot of dead cards in that video, and Gyakugaier Panda being one of the only good ones. Armed Dragon level 3 is also not so bad because it gets you to Chazz's best monster, Armed Dragon level 5, and his only really good card. But yeah, during your standby phase, you can just tribute it to summon Armed Dragon level 5. Pretty legit. Then 2 Armed Dragon level 5s. This card's destruction effect is really what makes it so good, and unlike Mephis, you get a real good amount of attack power for 1 tribute, and you can summon it even without tributing. So yeah, I like the fact that Chazz uses the Armed Dragons. They're really cool. They're probably the coolest level cards in my opinion. And the 1 Armed Dragon level 7. Yeah, I actually got us out that game, but didn't do much. This card's really good though. It's not hard for Armed Dragon level 5 to attack over something. So, and then you can summon this with level modulation, which is pretty cool too. But anyway, Flying Kamakiri, just great at pulling out the Armed Dragons, which is pretty much the best thing you can do with Chazz's deck. Mass Dragon, also used to pull out the Armed Dragons. We include 1 of each. And then Chazz's infamous Ojama cards, which will later become his mainstays. Yeah, I don't like the Ojamas. They're awful, and they don't really do anything, but Chazz used them. I don't know why. Onto the spells. Double Chthonian Alliance. This card's actually okay. A lot of times you'll somehow find yourself 2 Armed Dragon level 5s on the field. I think it happened in 2 separate games that my opponent took control Armed Dragon level 5. While I got one out, and I could have used Chthonian Alliance to attack over theirs. So it's actually a pretty cool card. I like the Chthonian cards. I wish it wasn't so under-supported. Chazz only used them for a few episodes. That's so stupid. I wish he used them more. Arm Changer, you can discard one of the Chthonian Alliances. I don't know, it's an okay card. Usually we won't really do anything with it. It just kind of sits there dead in your hand. Chthonian Alliances will sometimes if you don't have the right cards. Inferno Reckless Summon. It's actually okay. You can, I mean, there's not much in the deck that you have 2 copies of. You have 3 Chthonian Soldier, though, so, I mean, if you call the Haunted it, you could use this to bring it out, you know, some shenanigans like that. Double level up, beautiful, gets you to Armed Dragon level 5, which is really the only way you can play Chazz's deck to any success, is get out Armed Dragon level 5. Graveyard in the 4th dimension. If you ran through Armed Dragon level 7 already, and you have like an extra Armed Dragon level 3 or something, you can return like 5 and 7 and do shenanigans with that. Level modulation. Kind of nice, so you can just like bring Armed Dragon level 7. Your opponent gets to draw 2 cards though, so I don't know. This card's okay. Like it may not be worth the trade-off you get of like getting a level monster to give your opponent like 2 extra cards, but it helps. Enchanted Fitting Room. Oh god, that 4-way, this card hurt me so much. You can get Ojamas off the top of your deck with this, but considering, like, you know, we didn't fill his deck with 3 copies of each and made it consistently Ojama, usually when you get this, it'll do absolutely nothing, like most of Chazz's deck. Oja Magic. It's actually the best like Ojama support card because you can grab them and then do something with them. The only problem is it's hard to actually like send it to the graveyard. Like, I mean, you can set it and hope they like destroy it, but it's actually a pretty good card. Oja Muscle. Haven't ever used this in Chazz's deck because we haven't ever gone out Ojama King, and it's not even. It gives us some extra attack. Like it's not really that good. But in a show where you can draw what you need, it works for them. Ojama Delta Hurricane. If you manage to get the Ojamas on the field, this is actually a decent card. But yeah, like again, it just kind of sits there dead a lot. And polymerization for making the Ojamas. Ojama Knight would be the preferable Ojama monster to make. That's not that hard to see. Ojama King, forget about it. Fiend Sanctuary. This is really great for tributing monsters. Same way we use in Yugi's deck. Just activate it to tribute something, to summon something. Graceful Charity. One of those generic just dig through your deck cards. Thank God Chazz has this. Every time you see it, it's fantastic. That's a way to get Oja Magic into the graveyard. And then Ring of Defense to go along with Ring of Destruction. Ring of Destruction is probably the best card in Chazz's deck, not Armed Dragon level 5. These cards are really, really legit. And obviously very, very powerful. Chazz took a page out of Kaiba's book. And then you have 2 Chthonian Blast, which are also kind of like Ring of Destruction. Not as good, more specific circumstances, but you can do damage still, so they're actually pretty good. They're actually like, you know, good at basically fulfilling a similar role to Ring of Destruction. Chthonian Polymer, use this in that 4-way. When you're playing against decks like James, the ability to take a fusion is absolutely phenomenal. I like his Chthonian support. 2 Call the Haunted, really great, especially bringing back Armed Dragon level 5. Grave of Enkindling, not nearly as good as Call the Haunted. It gives your opponent a monster too, but I don't know. I like the card. It just doesn't really do that much in the deck, but you can get something back from the grave. Treasure Map, a really cool card. Again, I really like this card, but your opponent's never really going to return it to your hand, so it's never really going to do anything. Sorry, Chazz. And then Ojama Trio. This card's actually pretty good. Again, some extra burn damage. Use it with Gyakugai or Panda. So it's pretty legit, and you know, it's probably the best Ojama card in his deck. And then the last cards in Chazz's deck are Ojama Knight, which, you know, is easy to make, so it's actually not that bad. And I mean, theoretically, you can use this and Ojama Trio to completely lock down your opponent's field, but then you don't really have anything you can do, because you eventually need to attack to win. So, not that good anyway, but Ojama King, absolutely worthless. Locked out 3 monster zones. You're not really gonna get all 3 together, most likely. But if you do, like, props to you. But yeah, anyway, that's Chazz's deck. It's an okay deck. I kind of hate Chazz when he was first on the show. I like some of his cards, like the Chthonian cards. I don't like the Ojamas. But anyway, that's how we built our Chazz deck. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you've been seeing all the other videos we've been putting up for our 12 days of Christmas. Lots of good content for you guys. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully click some ads for us, because we always appreciate it. Carrot Cake out.